For 8 months, I woke up every single night at 2:47 in the morning and found my wife standing beside our daughter's bed, staring down at her while she slept. I asked her about it. She said I was dreaming, so I stopped asking and started watching. Night after night, the same pattern, the same time, the same silent stare. Until one night, I didn't just watch, I listened. And what I heard her whisper to our sleeping daughter made my blood run cold. What happened next changed our lives forever. Before I tell you what happened next, I'm grateful you're here listening. Drop a comment below. Where are you watching from and what time is it where you are right now? I want to know who's out there hearing this. My name is Michael Turner. I'm 47 years old. I live in Demopolis, Alabama. I'm a farmer, or I was. These days I work at an agricultural supply store in town, but farming's in my blood. I married Amanda in 2005. Our daughter Sophia was born in 2007. We weren't rich. We had a small farm. Grew what we could, kept a garden. Amanda stayed home with Sophia. I worked the land. We went to church on Sundays, said grace before meals, helped our neighbors. Simple life, honest life. I thought we were happy. I thought we had something solid. I was wrong. 1 year ago, something happened that nearly destroyed my family. For months, I couldn't understand what was going on. I'd wake up in the middle of the night with this sick feeling that something was terribly wrong. I thought maybe Amanda was sick, or maybe I was losing my mind. Maybe the stress was making me see things that weren't there. Then one night, March 16th, 2024, I discovered the truth, and I had to make a choice, the hardest choice of my life. My marriage or my daughter's life. I chose my daughter. I'd choose her 1,000 times over. But that choice changed everything. Changed who I was. Changed what I understood about the people you love and what they're capable of. This is that story. I'm telling it because I want other parents to know trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Don't ignore the signs. Protect your children, no matter what it costs, no matter who you have to stand up against. Your children are worth it. They're worth everything. I need to take you back to before everything fell apart, because if I don't tell you about the life we had, you won't understand how completely it all came crashing down. It started so small. A phone call Amanda wouldn't answer in front of me. Money missing from the grocery envelope. Her coming home late smelling like cigarettes, though she didn't smoke. I told myself I was being paranoid, that I should trust my wife, that after all those years together I knew her. But I didn't know her. Not really. When Amanda was tested, when she had to choose between what's right and what's easy, she failed. She failed me. She failed Sophia. She failed everything a mother is supposed to be. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me start at the beginning. Let me tell you about the years before everything changed. Because those years, those memories, they're what I hold on to now. They remind me that it wasn't always like this. That there was a time when we were a family. When we were happy. Or at least when I thought we were. This was before everything changed, before I knew what my wife was truly capable of. By 2023, Amanda and I had been married for 18 years. Our marriage wasn't perfect. What marriage is? But it was solid, steady. We worked our 20 acres together, cotton in the south field, corn in the north, vegetables in the garden plot near the house. We ate what we grew, wore our clothes until they wore out, fix things instead of replacing them. That's how you survive on a small farm. You make do. Amanda kept the house, cooked our meals, canned vegetables for winter. She seemed content with that life, or at least I thought she did. Looking back now, I wonder how much of it was real. How much was just her playing a part waiting for something else. Someone else, but Sophia. God, my Sophia. She was the light of my life, still is. That girl was smart as a whip. Straight A's all through school, not just book smart either. She had this way of seeing people, understanding them, knowing what they needed. That's why she wanted to be a social worker. Said she wanted to help folks who couldn't help themselves, protect kids who didn't have anyone to protect them. The day that acceptance letter came from Auburn University, I about cried. Full scholarship, academic. They were paying for everything. Books, room, board, tuition, everything. First person in my family to go to college. First person in Amanda's family, too. We were so proud. Sophia would sit with me on the porch after dinner, tell me about her plans, how she wanted to work with families in crisis, help children in bad situations find safety. I'd listen to her talk, watch her eyes light up, and think this girl's gonna change the world. I'd tell her, baby, you can be anything you want to be. I'll make sure of it. And I meant it. I'd have worked myself to death to give her that future. We were close, Sophia and me. Always had been. On Saturdays, we'd go fishing at Miller's Pond. Just the two of us. She'd bait her own hook. Wasn't squeamish like some girls. We'd sit there for hours, not always talking, just being together. Sometimes we'd catch something. Sometimes we wouldn't. Didn't matter. It was our time. Sunday mornings, the whole family went to church. Demopolis First Baptist. Been going there since I was a boy. We'd sit in the same pew every week. Third row from the front on the left side. Amanda would sing the hymns. Sophia would take notes during the sermon. Afterward, we'd have Sunday dinner. Fried chicken, mashed potatoes, green beans from the garden. Simple food. Good food. Our life was simple. We didn't go on fancy vacations, didn't have new trucks or the latest phones. But we had each other. We had our land, we had our faith. And I thought that was enough. I thought we had everything we needed. I thought we'd always be like that, a family, together, growing old on that farm. Watching Sophia graduate college, get married someday, maybe give us grandkids. I thought I knew my wife. Thought I knew what she wanted, what she valued. But I didn't know her at all. I didn't know that everything I believed, everything I trusted, was built on lies. In January of 2023, Amanda started to change, started pulling away, started keeping secrets. And nothing was ever the same again. It started with small things, things I told myself didn't mean anything. I was a fool. I wanted to believe everything was fine. I needed to believe it. In January of 2023, Amanda started going to town more often. I need to pick up a few things, she'd say. Then she'd be gone for 3-4 hours, just to run simple errands. Sometimes she'd say she was meeting Linda for coffee, but she wouldn't come home until late afternoon. I didn't think anything of it. I trusted her. February and March, things got stranger. Amanda started hiding her phone. She'd take it into the bathroom with her, keep it face down on the table. When it rang, she'd look at the screen and say, "I'll call them back later." Never answered it in front of me. Not once. She started pulling away, too. Less conversation, more distance between us. Like we were roommates instead of husband and wife. April. I noticed the money. Cash kept disappearing from Amanda's wallet. From the grocery envelope we kept in the kitchen drawer. I asked her about it. "Honey, where'd the grocery money go?" She got defensive. Sharp. "I bought some things, Michael. Don't interrogate me." I just stood there, stunned. She'd never talked to me like that before. Not in 18 years. May was when I knew. Really knew something was wrong. I woke up one night around 2 in the morning, reached over. Amanda wasn't there. Her side of the bed was cold. Like she'd been gone a while. I got up, looked out the window. Her car was gone. I sat in the kitchen waiting, trying not to think the worst, telling myself there was a reasonable explanation. She came home at 2:30. I heard the car pull up, heard her footsteps on the porch, careful and quiet, like she was trying not to wake me. When she walked in, I was sitting at the table in the dark. She jumped. "Michael, you scared me. Where were you?" Her hand went to her hair. It was messy. Her makeup was smudged. Her shirt was wrinkled. I was at Linda's. We were talking and I lost track of time. At 2:30 in the morning, "She's going through a divorce, Michael. She needed me." Her voice was calm. Practiced. Like she'd been rehearsing the explanation. I wanted to push, wanted to ask more questions, but I didn't. I was afraid of what she might say, afraid of what I might find out. "Okay," I said. "Come to bed." She went to the bathroom first, took a long shower. When she finally came to bed, she turned away from me. It faced the wall. I lay there next to her, wide awake, feeling like I was lying next to a stranger. June, the doubts got worse. I'd watch her during the day, looking for signs. Something to explain what was happening. Was she having an affair? Was she in some kind of trouble? I didn't know. But I knew something was wrong. At night, I'd lie awake, staring at the ceiling, thinking about that morning in May, the messy hair, the smudged makeup, the excuse that didn't quite add up. I told myself I was being paranoid, that I should trust my wife, that after 18 years she deserved that trust. But deep down I knew. Something was very, very wrong. I just didn't know what, and I was too afraid to find out. Then came July 15th, the night that changed everything. July 15th, 2023. I'll never forget that date. That was the night the mystery began. The night 247 became the number that would haunt me for months to come. The 15th started like any other day. Work in the fields, dinner at 6. By 9 o'clock we were in bed. But I didn't sleep well. Hadn't been sleeping well for weeks. I kept thinking about Amanda, about the late nights, the missing money, the way she'd pull away when I tried to touch her. At 2:47 in the morning I woke up, not gradually, not the slow drift from sleep to waking. I jolted awake, heart pounding, that feeling you get when something's wrong, when someone's watching you, when danger's near. I reached across the bed. Amanda wasn't there. Her side was empty, still warm but empty. I looked at the old wind-up clock on the wall, 2:47. I heard something, a soft sound, out in the hallway. Footsteps, maybe. Or the creak of a floorboard. Bathroom, I thought. She just got up to use the bathroom. But something felt off. Something felt wrong. I got out of bed, moved quiet across the floor. Our bedroom door was open a crack. I pushed it wider, careful not to make it creak. Stepped out into the hallway. It was dark, real dark. The kind of dark you get in the country where there's no streetlights, no city glow, just darkness. But there was moonlight coming through the window at the end of the hall, enough to see by, enough to make out shapes, and I saw her. Amanda was standing in front of Sophia's bedroom door. The door was cracked open, just a few inches, and Amanda was standing there completely still, staring into our daughter's room. I froze, didn't breathe, didn't move, just watched. What is she doing? Sleepwalking, I'd heard of that. People getting up at night, walking around, doing things they didn't remember. Maybe that was it. But something about the way she stood there, the way she held herself, alert, purposeful. She wasn't asleep. She knew exactly what she was doing. I stood there for what felt like forever. 1 minute, 2, 5, 10. She didn't move, didn't go into the room, didn't leave. Just stood there, staring into the darkness of Sophia's bedroom, watching our daughter sleep. I wanted to say something, wanted to call out to her, but I was afraid of waking Sophia, afraid of what Amanda might say, afraid of what was happening that I didn't understand. Finally she moved, turned away from the door, walked back toward our bedroom. I slipped into the bathroom. Quick, quiet. Stood there in the dark, heart hammering. Heard her footsteps pass by, heard the bedroom door close. I waited, counted to 30, then walked out like I'd just been using the toilet. When I came back to bed, Amanda was lying there, eyes closed, breathing slow and steady, like she'd been asleep the whole time, like nothing had happened. I lay down next to her, stared at the ceiling, mind racing. What was that? Why was she standing there? What was she looking at? I didn't sleep the rest of that night, just lay there, thinking, wondering, trying to make sense of what I'd seen. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe she heard a noise, wanted to check on Sophia, make sure she was okay. That's what mothers do, right? They check on their kids. But 2:47 in the morning, standing there for 10 minutes, not going in, not saying anything, just watching. I told myself I was overreacting, that I should go back to sleep, that everything was fine, but I knew it wasn't. Deep in my gut, I knew. Something was very, very wrong. I thought it was a one-time thing, a strange moment, something I could forget about, something that didn't mean anything. I was wrong. The next night, I forced myself to stay awake. I had to know if it would happen again. I set my phone alarm for 2:45 in the morning. When it vibrated under my pillow, I silenced it quickly and lay there in the dark, listening. My heart was pounding so hard I thought Amanda might hear it. At exactly 2:47, she got out of bed. I watched through half-closed eyes as she walked down the hallway. Same slow, deliberate steps. Same spot outside Sophia's door. Same 10 minutes of standing there perfectly still before coming back to bed. It wasn't a one-time thing. The next night, it happened again. And the night after that. And the night after that. I started counting. 10 nights, 20 nights, 30 nights. Every single night, at 2:47 in the morning, my wife would get up and stand outside our daughter's bedroom door. I tried asking her about it, Casual at breakfast. Did you sleep okay last night? Yeah, why? I thought I heard you get up. She looked at me over her coffee cup. No, I slept straight through. You must have been dreaming. But I wasn't dreaming. I knew what I'd seen. The next morning I tried again. Amanda, are you feeling all right? You seem tired. I'm fine, Michael. Stop worrying so much. Her answers were always the same, calm, certain, like I was the one imagining things. Maybe I was going crazy. Maybe the stress of the farm, of money, of everything was finally getting to me. Maybe I was seeing things that weren't really there. But then 2:47 would come again, and there she'd be. By August, I wasn't sleeping more than 3 or 4 hours a night. I'd lie awake waiting for 2:47, watching, counting. By September, I'd lost about 10 pounds. My hands shook when I tried to hold my coffee cup. The bags under my eyes were so dark that George Miller, my neighbor, asked if I was sick. You look like hell, Michael. You all right? Just tired, George. Farm work, you know. But it wasn't farm work. It was the fact that I was losing my mind. I came up with 100 different explanations. Maybe Amanda was sleepwalking. Maybe she was having some kind of mental breakdown. Maybe she was worried about Sophia going off to college and couldn't help checking on her. Maybe Sophia was sick and Amanda knew something I didn't. But when I'd check on Sophia in the mornings, she seemed fine. Happy. Excited about Auburn. By October, I was at my breaking point. I thought about confronting Amanda, really confronting her in the middle of the night, right there in the hallway. I thought about taking her to a doctor. But what would I even say? Doctor, my wife stands outside our daughter's room at 2:47 every single night, but she says she doesn't. They'd think I was the one who needed help. So I kept watching, kept counting, kept trying to find an explanation that made sense. By November, I'd counted over 100 nights. 100 nights of my wife standing outside my daughter's bedroom door at exactly 2:47 in the morning, and I still had no idea why. But it turned out I wasn't the only one in that house keeping secrets. What I didn't know then was that my daughter was about to discover a secret that would break her heart. While I was obsessed with Amanda's midnight ritual, while I was counting nights and losing sleep and losing my mind, Sophia was about to learn the first terrible truth about her mother. It was an evening in mid-December, 2023. Amanda and Sophia were watching TV together in the living room. One of those rare moments because Amanda had been so distant lately. They were sitting on the couch watching some cooking show. Amanda stood up suddenly. I'm going to get some water. You want anything, honey? No thanks, Mom, Sophia said. Amanda walked into the kitchen, leaving her phone on the couch cushion beside Sophia. The phone buzzed. A message notification lit up the screen. Sophia glanced down without thinking. The screen was bright clear. The message preview was right there. Brandon, missing you already beautiful. Tonight was amazing. Can't wait to hold you again tomorrow. Sophia's heart stopped. She read it again. Brandon, missing you. Hold you again. Tonight was amazing. She couldn't breathe. Who was Brandon Holder tonight? Sophia heard Amanda's footsteps coming back from the kitchen. She looked away quickly, forced herself to stare at the TV screen like nothing had happened. Amanda sat down, picked up her phone without a word, and kept watching the show. But Sophia didn't see the TV anymore. Her mind was spinning. That night, Sophia couldn't sleep. At 1 a.m, she crept downstairs. When she was sure Amanda and I were both asleep, she went into our bedroom as quietly as she could and took Amanda's phone from the nightstand. She knew the password. It was Amanda's birthday. A simple 6-digit code that had never changed. Sophia opened the messages, found the name Brandon. What she saw destroyed her. Months of messages. Going back to January 2023, romantic, intimate messages. I love you. You make me feel alive. I can't stop thinking about you. When can we see each other again? There were no explicit photos, but there were plenty of selfies. Pictures of them together. Pictures of him kissing her cheek. Pictures of Amanda smiling happy in a way Sophia hadn't seen her smile at home in months. Brandon Cole. His profile picture showed a handsome man, late 30s, confident smile. The recent messages were plans, times, places, dates to meet. Sophia's hands were shaking so hard she almost dropped the phone. Tears ran down her face as she scrolled through months of lies. Every time Amanda had said she was going to town or meeting Linda, she'd been meeting him. Sophia felt sick. She wanted to throw up right there. But she didn't. She carefully deleted the browsing history, put the phone back exactly where it had been, and crept back to her room. She locked her door, buried her face in her pillow, and cried as quietly as she could. And then she made a decision. She wasn't going to tell me. She thought, Dad doesn't know. If I tell him, it will destroy him. Our family will fall apart. Maybe Mom will end it. I can't hurt Dad like this. I have to protect him. So she decided to carry that terrible secret alone. That night, at 16 years old, Sophia Turner grew up in the worst way possible. She learned that the people you love most can betray you. And she made a heartbreaking choice to suffer in silence because she thought it would protect me. But the affair was only the beginning. There was so much more she didn't know yet, and the worst was still to come. December came, and I started noticing something terrible. My daughter was falling apart. I thought it was school stress, senior year pressure, college applications. I had no idea about the real weight she was carrying. The changes hit fast. December 2023. Sophia became quiet, withdrawn. When I'd ask, "You okay, sweetheart?" she'd force a smile. "Yeah, Dad. Just tired." She stopped eating. At dinner, she'd push food around her plate, but barely take a bite. "You need to eat, honey," I'd say. "I'm not hungry." The physical decline was obvious. She lost weight fast, about 15 pounds in 3 months. Her clothes hung loose on her frame. Her face became hollow, pale with dark circles under her eyes from lack of sleep. Then the nightmares started. 2 or 3 times a week, I'd hear Sophia scream in the night. I'd run to her room and find her sitting up in bed, drenched in sweat, shaking. "What happened, baby? What did you dream about?" I don't remember, Dad. Just a bad dream." I'd hold her tight. "It's okay. I'm here." But the nightmares kept coming. Her grades started slipping. She'd always been a straight-A student, 4.0 GPA. But by January, it had dropped to 3.7. Her teachers called me. "Sophia seems very distracted in class lately. Is everything okay at home?" I didn't know what to tell them. And then there was the way she avoided Amanda. Sophia would eat before or after her mother. She wouldn't speak to her. If Amanda walked into a room, Sophia would find an excuse to leave. I asked Amanda about it. "Why aren't you two talking anymore?" Amanda shrugged cold. "She's a teenager, Michael. They're all moody." But with me, Sophia was different. She clung to me more than ever. She'd hug me suddenly out of nowhere and hold on tight without saying a word. She'd tell me, "I love you, Dad," multiple times a day, like she was afraid it might be the last time. Every evening, she'd sit with me on the porch. "You know you can tell me anything, right?" I'd ask. Her eyes would water. "I know, Dad." "So what's wrong? Talk to me." "I'm just stressed. Senior year is hard." "Is it about college, about leaving home?" "Maybe. I don't know." I felt helpless. From January to March 2024, it got worse. Sophia isolated herself completely. She stopped seeing friends, stopped going out. She'd come home from school and go straight to her room. Sometimes standing outside her door, I'd hear her crying softly. I'd knock gently. "Sophia?" She'd wipe her tears quickly. "Yeah, Dad? Can I come in?" I'm doing homework." "Okay. If you need anything, I'm here." "I know. Thanks, Dad." My fear grew every day. I talked to George Miller one afternoon. "I'm really worried about Sophia," I said. "She's not herself anymore." "Could it be depression?" George asked. "Teenage pressure?" "I don't know. She won't tell me anything." I thought about taking her to see a therapist, but when I suggested it, she refused. "I'm fine, Dad. Really." 2 secrets were living in that house. Every night I'd watch Amanda stand at Sophia's door at 2:47 in the morning. It had been 8 months, and every day I'd watch my daughter wither away right in front of me. I started wondering, were the 2 things connected? Did Sophia know something about Amanda? But every time I asked, both of them denied it. By March 2024, I felt like I was living in a house full of strangers. My wife with her strange midnight ritual, my daughter withering away before my eyes, and me completely powerless to help either of them. I couldn't take it anymore. On March 15th, 2024, I made a decision. That night, I was going to find out the truth, no matter what it cost. March 15th, 2024. Exactly 8 months since that first night at 2:47 in the morning. I woke up that morning with absolute certainty tonight. I was going to find out the truth about what Amanda was doing. I couldn't live like this for one more day. I couldn't keep living in confusion, not understanding what was happening in my own home. I looked at Amanda sleeping beside me and thought, who are you really? This time I wasn't just going to watch from a distance. This time I was going to get close enough to hear what she was saying, because in 8 months I'd never heard a single word come out of her mouth during those midnight visits. All day long I worked in the fields, but my mind was somewhere else. George Miller noticed. You okay, Mike? You seem quiet today. Just thinking, George, about Amanda or Sophia. Both? He nodded slowly. You need to talk to them, Mike. Communication is key, you know. I know. I will. That evening I came home. Amanda was cooking dinner, acting like nothing was wrong. Sophia was locked in her room as usual. Dinner passed in tense silence. I watched both of them carefully. Amanda wouldn't look me in the eye. Sophia looked at me with worried eyes, like she could sense something was different. After dinner, Sophia came out to the porch where I was sitting. Dad, are you okay? I was surprised. I should be asking you that, sweetheart. I'm trying, but today you seem different. I pulled her close and hugged her tight. Everything's going to be okay, Sophia. I promise. She buried her face in my chest. Her voice was choked. I hope so, Dad. No matter what happens, I will always love you. You know that, right? She pulled back and looked into my eyes. Why are you talking like that? Like what? Like you're saying goodbye. I'm not saying goodbye, sweetheart. I just wanted to remind you. She nodded, but she didn't look convinced. She didn't ask any more questions. 9 o'clock. Bedtime. The whole house went dark. I lay down beside Amanda. Good night, Michael, she said absently. Good night? Amanda fell asleep, or pretended to after about 10 minutes. But I stayed awake. I stared at the ceiling, more alert than I'd ever been in my life. I waited. 10 o'clock, 11, midnight, 1 in the morning. I didn't sleep. I just waited. In my head, I rehearsed the plan. When Amanda gets up, wait until she leaves the room. Follow her quietly. Get close to Sophia's door. Listen. Really listen. Find out what secret she's been hiding for 8 months. 2:30. I was wide awake. My heart started beating faster. 2:45. Amanda stirred. I slowed my breathing, pretended to be sound asleep. 2:47. Amanda sat up. It was time, after 8 months. After 243 nights of wondering, I was finally going to know the truth. I had no idea that the truth would be worse than anything I could have ever imagined. Amanda stepped out of bed. I kept my eyes closed, my breathing slow and steady. I'd been pretending to sleep for 8 months. Tonight was no different. Except tonight, I wasn't going to stay in bed. The mattress creaked softly as she stood. Her bare feet made no sound on the wooden floor. I waited about 10 seconds, then opened my eyes and slowly sat up. I slipped out of the bedroom and into the dark hallway where only faint moonlight came through the window at the far end. Amanda was standing there, in front of Sophia's door. The door was slightly open, just like always. I pressed myself into the shadows at the end of the hall, watching my wife's silhouette. This time was different. I moved closer, slowly, quietly. I needed to hear what she was saying. The distance closed to about 10 feet, close enough to hear clearly. Amanda began to speak, just a whisper, but I could hear her. Sophia, sweetheart, I'm so sorry. My heart clenched. Was she talking to Sophia? I'm so sorry for everything I've done. Amanda's voice was choked with tears. I know you don't understand why I've been so distant lately, why everything between us has changed. The truth is, I've been with someone else. His name is Brandon Cole. The world stopped. An affair. My wife is having an affair. I met him in January last year, at the hardware store in town. He was charming, attentive. He made me feel alive, young again. Your father is a good man, Sophia. He's always treated me well, worked hard, loved his family. But Brandon, he made me feel special, like I was more than just a farmer's wife. Amanda let out a soft sob. I was weak. I was selfish. I ruined our family for a moment of feeling wanted. There was a long silence. I stood there, frozen, unable to move. Brandon Cole. A name I'd never heard before. My wife had betrayed me. Tears rolled down my face silently. I wanted to storm in there, scream, demand answers. But my legs felt nailed to the floor. I forced myself to keep listening. Amanda continued. But it's worse than the affair, sweetheart. So much worse. Brandon, he introduced me to something. Online gambling. He said it was fun. Easy money. Just for entertainment. At first I won a little. $50 here, $100 there. It felt exciting. But then I started losing. And I kept thinking, just one more game. I'll win it all back. But I didn't win Sophia. I kept losing. And losing. Her voice trembled, breaking apart. $80,000, sweetheart. $80,000. That's money we don't have. Money I borrowed from dangerous people. People Brandon knows. I gambled away our family's savings. Then I borrowed more. And more. Your father doesn't know. He thinks the savings are still there. He doesn't know I've lost it all. The number 80,000 spun violently in my mind. I couldn't breathe. I slowly slid down the wall and sat on the floor, holding my head in my hands. All of our savings. Everything we'd worked for our entire lives. Gone. Dangerous people. Debt. Gambling. Addiction. I'm so sorry, Sophia. I'm so sorry. Amanda was crying harder now. But there's more. And this is the worst part. I sat there on that cold hallway floor, my entire world shattered. My wife had betrayed me, gambled away our life savings, owed $80,000 to dangerous people. But she said, there's more. And somehow I knew. Whatever came next would be even worse. And then Amanda spoke the words that would haunt me for the rest of my life. That was 1 year ago. March 2024. Let me tell you what happened after. Immediate aftermath March, June 2024. Sophia stayed at George Miller's house for 3 weeks. Sheriff Anderson conducted his investigation. He questioned Amanda. He questioned Brandon. He questioned Blackwood. The contract was seized and declared void. Sophia was a minor when it was signed. There were no criminal charges filed, not enough concrete evidence of intent to traffic, and Amanda cooperated fully. But Blackwood received a stern warning. Stay away from my family or face legal consequences. Brandon Cole left Demopolis within 2 months. His reputation was destroyed. No one wanted to do business with a man who'd tried to sell a 16-year-old girl. I filed for divorce on March 20th, 2024. Amanda didn't contest it. She knew she had no chance. Short term 6 months. 1 year, the divorce was finalized in September 2024. I got full custody of Sophia. Amanda left with nothing, no assets, no custody, no alimony. The adultery and endangerment clauses saw to that. As for the debt, Amanda declared bankruptcy. The creditors accepted a partial settlement from the $40,000 Blackwood had already paid. He never got that money back. My farm was protected because it wasn't in Amanda's name. But I decided to sell it anyway. I paid off the mortgage and walked away with a small profit. Sophia and I moved into a rented house in town. We couldn't stay in a place filled with those memories. I found work at an agricultural supply store. The pay was decent. Life was simple. But it was peaceful. Sophia recovered slowly. Therapy twice a week. She gained back the weight she'd lost. The nightmares faded. Her final semester grades came back at 3.9. A remarkable effort. Sophia graduated high school in May 2024. The Auburn scholarship stayed intact. Blackwood's threat had been empty. He had no real power on that board after all. In August 2024, Sophia started at Auburn. She majored in social work. I want to help girls like me dad, she told me. Girls who almost got trapped. I'd never been more proud. Present day. March 2025. Sophia is 17 now, a freshman at Auburn. She's thriving. Dean's List her first semester. She made friends. She joined student organizations. She's happy. She's healthy. She's free. And me, I'm 47, still working, still proud. I live in a small apartment. My life is simple, but I'm content. Sophia and I talk every week. She visits once a month. Our bond is stronger than ever. In 3 months, June 15th, 2025, Sophia will turn 18, the day she was supposed to marry Jonathan Blackwood. Instead, she'll be celebrating her first year of freedom, her first year of building the life she chose. Final reflection. People ask me if I regret not seeing the signs earlier. Of course I do. I wish I'd known about the affair, the gambling, the plan. I wish I could have protected Sophia from the pain of knowing her mother could do something like that. But I can't change the past. What I can do is make sure the present is better, and the future brighter. Amanda made terrible, unforgivable choices, but I made mine too. I chose my daughter. I chose to fight. And Sophia. She's free. She's exactly where she belongs. That night at 2:47, when I heard the truth, my world collapsed. But it also gave my daughter a chance to start over, and that's all that matters. I don't know how long I sat there on that floor, but then I heard my daughter crying, and I knew I had to go to her. I forced myself to stand and walk toward Sophia's door. I pushed it gently. Inside, moonlight streamed through the window. Sophia was sitting on her bed, knees pulled to her chest, rocking slightly. Her face was buried in her hands, shoulders shaking with sobs. She looked up. Her eyes were red and swollen. "Dad?" I stepped inside and quietly closed the door. I moved closer, my voice hoarse. "Sweetheart, you were awake." "Dad, you heard everything too?" I nodded. "Mom's gonna make me marry him. That old man." I dropped to my knees and grabbed her hands. "No, that's never gonna happen. Do you hear me? Never." "But Mom signed papers." "I don't care what she signed. You're 16 years old. You're my daughter, and no one is taking you from me." Sophia broke down completely. She threw herself into my arms. "Dad, I'm so scared." I held her tight. "I know, baby, but I'm here now." "What are we going to do?" "We're going to fight. I'm going to protect you." She pulled back and looked at me. "Dad, there's something else. Mom's affair with Brandon. I already knew. Since December." I was stunned. "You knew?" She nodded, crying. I saw messages on her phone. Everything. "Why didn't you tell me?" "I didn't want to hurt you. I thought if I stayed quiet, maybe she'd stop. I didn't want our family to break. I wanted to protect you. Every day I had to carry that secret. Watch her lie to you while you worked so hard." She couldn't finish. My heart shattered. "Oh, Sophia, my sweet girl." I pulled her close. "You should never have had to carry that alone. That wasn't your job. My job is to protect you, not the other way around." "I'm sorry, Dad. You have nothing to be sorry for. This isn't your fault." We sat together, holding each other. "What about the debt?" she asked. "Those dangerous people. Let them come. Let them take everything. I don't care." "But where will we go?" "We'll figure it out together." "What about Mom?" "Your mother made her choice. Now I'm making mine." "I was supposed to go to Auburn." "You are going to Auburn. You're going to live the life you planned." "How if Mom signed papers?" "Those papers are worthless. Nobody has the right to sell a child. It's illegal, immoral. I'll burn those papers before I let anyone touch you." We held each other until the first light crept through the window. 5:30 in the morning. We'd been sitting together for 2.5 hours. "I'm so tired, Dad." "I know, sweetheart. Me too." "What do we do now?" "Now we make a plan, and I get you somewhere safe." Sitting there with my daughter in my arms, watching the sun rise, I made a silent vow I would rather face anything than let someone hurt her. I would burn the whole world down before I'd let them take her. And then I said, "Pack your things, Sophia. Only what you really need. We're leaving today." We didn't have much time. Amanda would wake soon. We had to move fast. The woman I'd loved for 18 years was in the next room. But she wasn't my wife anymore. She was a threat. I laid out the plan. Priority 1, get you somewhere Amanda can't reach you. "Where?" Sophia asked, worried. "George Miller's house. He's a good man. He'll protect you." "What if Mom comes looking for me?" "I'll make sure she doesn't. And if she does, George won't let her in." I walked through each step. First, Sophia would pack. Only essentials. At 7 o'clock sharp, I'd drive her to George's house. Then I'd come back and confront Amanda. After that, I'd go to Sheriff Tom Anderson and report everything. The sheriff would investigate and protect Sophia legally. Finally, I'd confront Brandon Cole and Jonathan Blackwood directly, and I'd file for divorce and fight for full custody. Sophia was still shaking. "Dad, what about the debt?" Brandon said. "Those people are dangerous." "I don't care. They can take the farm, the house, everything, but they can't have you." "But where will we live?" "We'll figure it out. Maybe a small apartment in town. I'll find work. We'll manage." "What about my scholarship?" "That scholarship is yours. You earned it. You're going to Auburn this fall, no matter what." She hesitated. "What if Mr. Blackwood says I have to honor the contract?" I said firmly, "There is no contract. You were 16 when Amanda signed. That makes it void. Illegal. You can't use a minor in a deal." "Are you sure?" "I'll make sure. Sheriff Anderson will confirm it." Sophia's voice trembled. "Dad, what if they hurt you, Brandon, and those people Mom owes?" "Let them try. I'm serious. What if—" I lifted her face gently. "Sophia, listen to me. I've spent 16 years protecting you, raising you, teaching you, loving you. That doesn't stop now. I'd walk through hell to keep you safe." Sophia started crying again. "I don't want to lose you." "You won't, I promise." We quickly prepared the practical details. Sophia packed clothes, toiletries, books, and her scholarship papers. I told her to keep her phone and stay in constant contact. As for George, I'd tell him everything. I pulled out $200 in cash from my emergency fund and handed it to her. "Take this, sweetheart, just in case." 6:45. We heard Amanda stirring in the bedroom. "Mom's waking up. We have to go. Now." Sophia's voice shook. "I'm scared. So am I. But we're doing this together." I picked up her bag. "Let's go." We walked out of that room together, father and daughter, ready to face whatever was coming. But first, I had to get Sophia somewhere safe. And then I had to face my wife. I dropped Sophia off at George's house at 7:30. George took one look at her face and understood. He didn't ask questions. "She's safe here, Mike." That's all I needed to hear. Driving back home, I rehearsed what I was going to say. But when I walked into the kitchen and saw Amanda making coffee, humming softly like this was just another normal morning, every word disappeared. All that was left was rage. She was standing by the stove, humming. When she saw me, she turned. "Good morning, honey. Want some eggs?" She was acting completely normal. I stood there staring at this woman who had become a stranger. Amanda noticed something was wrong. "Michael, are you okay?" After a long silence, I said coldly, "I know everything." Amanda froze. "Know what? Everything. Brandon, the gambling, the $80,000, Jonathan Blackwood, the contract." Her face went completely white. The coffee cup slipped from her fingers and shattered on the floor. What? How?" 2:47 this morning. I heard every word you said to Sophia." Her legs gave out. She collapsed into a chair. "Michael, I can explain," I exploded. Explain what—" It was the first time I'd raised my voice in 18 years of marriage. "Explain sleeping with another man for over a year. Explain gambling away every penny we saved. Explain selling our 16-year-old daughter to a 52-year-old man. Which part do you want to?" "Explain first?" Amanda started crying. "I didn't have a choice." I laughed bitterly. A cruel, cold laugh. "No choice." "You had 1,000 choices. You could have not had the affair. You could have not gambled. You could have come to me with the truth. Instead, you sold our child. They were going to hurt us, Michael. The people I owe. So you gave them Sophia instead. Our 16-year-old daughter. It's not like that." "Then what is it like?" "Please, I really want to hear how this makes sense." Amanda tried to defend herself. "Brandon said it was the only way." "Brandon, your lover, the man who got you into gambling in the first place. You think he was helping?" "He was trying. He was trying to make $20,000 off our daughter Wake Up. Mr. Blackwood is a good man, respected, wealthy. Sophia would be taken care of." I lost control. I grabbed a chair and threw it across the kitchen. "She's 16. She has a scholarship, a future dreams. She wants to be a social worker, help people. And you're taking it all away to pay gambling debts." Amanda sobbed. "I was desperate. I was scared. You want to know desperate Sophia from December to March withered away because she discovered her mother was a cheater. She saw your messages with Brandon. She carried that secret for 4 months to protect me from the truth about you. A 16-year-old kid suffering nightmares, crying herself to sleep, losing 15 pounds. And you didn't even notice." Amanda covered her face and cried. I stood there, shaking with anger, and delivered my final verdict. "I want a divorce. I want full custody of Sophia. And you're going to tell Brandon and Blackwood that this deal is off. Today. But the contract is binding. That contract is illegal. Sophia was 16. It's void. What about the debt?" "I don't care. Let them take it all. This house. this land, everything. Where will we go? I leaned down and looked straight into her eyes. There is no we anymore. You chose your path when you sold our daughter. Now live with it. I turned to leave, and that's when she said it. Brandon won't let you do this. He'll come after you. After Sophia. I stopped at the door and looked back. Let him try. I'm not afraid anymore. I left Amanda crying in that kitchen. I didn't look back. Sophia was at George's house. Now I needed to make sure she was protected. Legally. Sheriff Tom Anderson was a good man. Fair and honest. If anyone could help us, it was him. The sheriff's office was in a small building in downtown Demopolis. I walked in. The receptionist looked up. Can I help you? I need to see Sheriff Anderson. It's urgent. Is this an emergency? Yes. Sheriff Tom stepped out of his office. The moment he saw my face, pale, exhausted, broken, he spoke. Mike? What happened? Come with me. He led me into his private office. I sat down. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. Take it easy, Mike, I began. My wife sold our daughter. I told him everything. Amanda's affair with Brandon Cole. The gambling addiction and the $80,000 debt. The contract with Jonathan Blackwood. How Sophia, at 16 years old, was promised to marry him when she turned 18. I told him I'd overheard Amanda's confession at 2:47 this morning, and that Sophia had heard it all too. Sheriff Anderson took careful notes. His face became grave and deeply troubled. Mike, this is serious. This is coercion of a minor. Potentially human trafficking, I pleaded. Can you protect her? Can you stop this? Absolutely. Where is Sophia now? George Miller's house. Good. Keep her there. I'll post a deputy nearby. He asked, Do you have proof? The contract, Amanda mentioned it. Signed July 15th, 2023. I'll need to see it. Can you get it? I don't know where she keeps it. Blackwood might have it. I'll demand he produce it. If he refuses, that's suspicious. As for Brandon Cole, I'll summon him for questioning. Sheriff Anderson explained the legal side. Mike, you need to know this. Any contract involving a minor without both parents' consent is void. Sophia was 16 when this contract was signed. Even when she turns 18, this contract was illegal from the start. Forced marriage is a crime. Alabama law is very clear on this. And if Blackwood knowingly entered into an agreement to marry a minor, that's a felony? So she's safe, I asked. Legally, yes. But practically, we need to make sure those men don't try anything. Here's what I'll do. I'll post a deputy at George's house 24/7. I'll personally visit Jonathan Blackwood today and make it clear this deal is over. I'll summon Brandon Cole and investigate the gambling debt to see who these creditors are and whether they've made threats. He emphasized, that debt is Amanda's, not yours, not Sophia's. Creditors can pursue Amanda legally, but they cannot force a child into marriage to settle debt. For the first time in months, I could breathe. Thank you, Tom. Thank you so much. You did the right thing coming here, Mike. Many fathers wouldn't have the courage. Some would let it happen, convincing themselves it was the best way. But you fought for your daughter. That takes real strength. I shook Sheriff Anderson's hand. For the first time in 8 months, I felt like maybe, just maybe, everything was going to be okay. But I wasn't done yet. I still had 2 men to face, and neither of them was going to like what I had to say. I left the sheriff's office with a promise of protection. Now there were 2 men left to deal with. Brandon Cole was first. Palmer's auto dealership sat on Highway 80, a low brick building with a row of shiny trucks out front. I pulled into the lot at 2 in the afternoon. Through the glass windows, I could see him in his office, feet up on his desk, grinning at his phone. 38 years old, handsome, slick, the man who destroyed my family. I walked through the front door and went straight to his office. I pushed the door open. Brandon looked up. His smile faltered. Can I help you? I'm Michael Turner, I said. Sophia's father, Amanda's husband. His face changed. The smile vanished. He swung his feet off the desk. Michael, look whatever Amanda told you. She didn't tell me anything, I said. I heard her. 2:47 this morning. Sitting on Sophia's bed, confessing everything, and I was in the hallway listening to every word. Brandon stood up, trying to regain control. This is a private matter. Private? I stepped closer. You pulled my wife into an affair. You got her hooked on gambling. $80,000 in debt. And then you arranged to sell my 16-year-old daughter to a 52-year-old man. His face went pale. It's not like that. Then what's it like, Brandon? It was a business arrangement, he said quickly. Amanda needed help. You mean human trafficking, I said. You mean selling a child to pay off debt. She's not a child. She'll be 18. She's 16 now. She was 16 when Amanda signed that contract, and you knew that. Brandon's hands clenched. Amanda made her own choices. You introduced her to gambling, I said. You introduced her to the debt. You introduced her to Blackwood. And you were going to collect $20,000 for brokering the sale of my daughter. His eyes flickered, caught. 20,000, I repeated, for selling a 16-year-old girl. Brandon took a breath. Blackwood's already paid 40,000. He has lawyers. He has power. You can't just... I already did, I said. Sheriff Tom Anderson knows everything. The contract. The debt. Your name. Brandon's face went gray. You went to the sheriff. This morning. You don't know who you're dealing with, he said. Blackwood won't just let this go. Then I'll deal with Blackwood, I said. But right now, I'm dealing with you. I stepped closer. Brandon pressed against his desk. Here's what's going to happen, I said quietly. You're going to cancel whatever deal you made with Blackwood. You're going to stay away from Amanda. You're going to stay away from Sophia. And if I ever see you near my family again, Sheriff Anderson will make sure you spend the next 10 years in a cell. Brandon's eyes darted to the door, to the phone, anywhere but me. Do you understand? His mouth opened, closed. No words came out. I turned and walked to the door. You're making a mistake, Brandon called after me. His voice shook. Blackwood won't just let this go. He's already invested. Then I'll deal with Blackwood, I said again. And I walked out, one down, one to go. And Jonathan Blackwood was about to learn that some things, especially daughters, can never be bought. The Blackwood estate was everything mine wasn't. Big, clean, expensive. Over 200 acres of prime Alabama farmland, with a white mansion that looked like something out of Gone with the Wind. This was the man who looked at my 16-year-old daughter and saw a commodity, something to purchase, something to own. And I was about to make him understand my daughter was not for sale. I drove up the long driveway, white columns, manicured lawns, wealth everywhere. I rang the doorbell. An elderly man in formal dress answered. I'm here to see Mr. Blackwood, I said. I'm Michael Turner. A minute later, Jonathan Blackwood appeared. 52 years old, silver hair, expensive suit even at home. He smiled with the confidence of a man who'd never been told no. Mr. Turner, I've been wondering when you'd show up. Amanda called yesterday. She seemed distressed. Come in. Let's discuss this like civilized men. I'm not coming in, I said. This won't take long. His smile faded. Say what you came to say. The deal you made with my wife, it's over. I have a signed contract, Mr. Turner. A contract to marry a minor. That's not legal. She'll be 18 in 15 months. She was 16 when you made that deal, I said. That makes it void. Blackwood's jaw tightened. I have lawyers who would disagree. Then let your lawyers explain it to Sheriff Tom Anderson. He's very interested in your business practices. Blackwood's face changed. You went to the police this morning. That was unwise. Why I stepped closer. Because human trafficking is a federal crime. Even in Alabama. His eyes flashed. Trafficking. This is a marriage arrangement, perfectly legal, between a 52-year-old man and a 16-year-old girl in exchange for money, I said. Tell me how that's not trafficking. Blackwood stepped forward. Do you know who I am? I own half this county. I employ 200 people. I have connections you can't imagine. I don't care, I said, and I'm not afraid. I can make your life extremely difficult, Turner. You already did, I said. The moment you agreed to buy my daughter. Blackwood's face reddened. I've already paid $40,000 toward Amanda's debt. Then you're a fool. I want that money back. Then go collect it from Amanda or Brandon. I don't owe you a dime. You don't have $40,000. Your farm is mortgaged. Your savings are gone. How do you plan to pay me? I don't. His hands clenched. Then we have a serious problem. No, I said, you have a problem. Because if you ever come near my daughter again, I'll make sure every newspaper in Alabama knows that Jonathan Blackwood tried to buy a 16-year-old bride. His face went pale. Men like him lived and died by their reputations. You wouldn't dare. Try me. Silence. He was calculating, weighing his options. Then he smiled. Cold, mean. That scholarship she has. To Auburn. She'll never get it. I sit on the donor board. I'll make sure it's denied. I stepped closer. You do that and I'll file a lawsuit. I'll make your life hell. Sheriff Anderson has your name. One complaint from me and he'll dig into everything you've ever done. How many families have you done this to, Blackwood? His face twisted with rage. Get off my property. Gladly, I said. Just remember, this Sophia Turner is not for sale. She never was. She never will be. I turned and walked to my truck. He shouted after me, You're making an enemy. You can't afford Turner. I looked back. I'd rather have you as an enemy than a son-in-law. I drove away and didn't look back. It was over. Sophia was safe. Or at least that's what I thought, because the hardest part was still ahead. That was 3 years ago, March 2024. Let me tell you what happened after. Sophia stayed at George Miller's house for 3 weeks while Sheriff Anderson conducted his investigation. He questioned Amanda, Brandon, and Blackwood. The contract was seized and declared void. Sophia was a minor when it was signed. There were no criminal charges filed. Not enough concrete evidence of intent to traffic, and Amanda cooperated fully. But Blackwood received a stern warning. Stay away from my family or face the law. Brandon Cole left Demopolis within 2 months. His reputation was destroyed. No one wanted to do business with a man who tried to sell a 16-year-old girl. I filed for divorce on March 20th, 2024. Amanda didn't contest it. She knew she had no chance. The divorce was finalized in September. I got full custody of Sophia. Amanda left with nothing. No assets, no custody, no alimony. The adultery and endangerment clauses saw to that. As for the debt, Amanda declared bankruptcy. The creditors accepted a partial settlement from the $40,000 Blackwood had already paid. He never got that money back. My farm was protected because it wasn't in Amanda's name, but I decided to sell it anyway. I paid off the mortgage and walked away with a small profit. Sophia and I moved into a rented house in town. We couldn't stay in a place filled with those memories. I found work at an agricultural supply store. The pay was decent. Life was simple, but it was peaceful. Sophia recovered slowly. Therapy twice a week. She gained back the weight she'd lost. The nightmares faded. Her final semester grades came back at 3.9, a remarkable effort. She graduated high school in May 2024. The Auburn scholarship stayed intact. Blackwood's threat had been empty. He had no real power on that board after all. In August, Sophia started at Auburn. She majored in social work. I want to help girls like me, Dad, she told me. Girls who almost got trapped. I'd never been more proud. Sophia thrived. Dean's List every semester. She made friends. She joined student organizations. She started dating a good kid, a pre-med student who treated her with respect. On Sophia's 18th birthday, June 15th, 2025, we sat across from each other in a small restaurant near Auburn. Dad, do you know what today is? She asked quietly. Your 18th birthday, I said, and the day I was supposed to marry Mr. Blackwood. Silence. We both thought about what could have been if the truth had stayed buried. Thank you for saving me, Sophia said. I reached across the table and took her hand. You saved yourself, Sophia. You carried that secret for months. You protected me even when it was killing you. I just did what any father should do. Not every father would, she said softly. Some would have let it happen. Never, I said. Not in 1,000 years. Now, in 2027, Sophia is 20 years old, a junior at Auburn. She's interning at a domestic violence shelter and planning to pursue a master's degree. She's happy. She's healthy. She's thriving. And me, I'm 48. Still working. Still proud. I live in a small apartment. My life is simple, but I'm content. Sophia and I talk every week. She visits once a month. Our bond is stronger than ever. People ask me if I regret not seeing the signs earlier. Of course I do. I wish I'd known about the affair, the gambling, the plan. I wish I could have protected Sophia from the pain of knowing her mother could do something like that. But I can't change the past. What I can do is make sure the present is better and the future brighter. Amanda made terrible, unforgivable choices. But I made mine too. I chose my daughter. I chose to fight. And Sophia, she's free. She's exactly where she belongs. That night at 2:47, when I heard the truth, my world collapsed. But it also gave my daughter a chance to start over. And that's all that matters. So that's my story. A true story that I never thought I'd have to tell. A grandpa's stories I'll one day share with Sophia's children, not to scare them, but to teach them vigilance and love. Looking back, I see my mistakes clearly. I was blind. I trusted too much. I ignored the signs because I didn't want to believe my wife could betray us so deeply. Don't be like me. Don't ignore the small changes in the people you love. Don't dismiss your gut when it whispers that something's wrong. Don't wait until 2:47 in the morning to discover the truth that's been hiding in plain sight. God gave me ears to hear that confession. God gave me strength to fight for my daughter when every part of me wanted to collapse. And God gave Sophia the courage to carry that terrible secret for months, protecting me even as it destroyed her from the inside. I believe that. I have to believe that. Because without his hand on our lives, I don't know if we would have survived. Here's what I learned. Love isn't blind. Love is vigilant. Love fights. Love protects. When you're a parent, your job isn't just to provide food and shelter. It's to stand guard, to notice, to act, even when it costs you everything. This true story of mine, this grandpa's stories I'm sharing with you now, isn't unique. There are fathers and mothers out there right now facing impossible choices. There are daughters being sold, sons being exploited, families being torn apart by debt and desperation and evil disguised as help. If you're one of them, don't wait. Don't be like me. Fight now. Scream now. Protect your children now. That's the lesson of this true story. That's the warning of this grandpa's stories. Because some things, especially our children, are worth losing everything for. And they are never, ever for sale.